Yeah. You ready? Hey. Let's go. Back. I'm at my prime. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
This is week 10 of the European Football Alliance. We say hello and welcome from Frankfurt, Germany, from the PSD Bank Arena, or as it is called in the football community in Europe, the Purple Hell. Frankfurt Galaxy is facing the Raiders Tirol today, and calling this game for you is Jörg Opu Opochlik, and with me is our color commentator and a Galaxy legend, Mr. Lorenz Regler.
Hi Opu, hi everyone.
Lorenz, this game for the Frankfurt Galaxy, I think without a doubt this is a must-win today against the so far winless Raiders Tirol, right?
I absolutely agree. It's never easy to play against an 0-7 team because you know you don't want to be that team that gets their first loss against the Raiders Tirol. At the same time, the Frankfurt Galaxy really has to prove something after a very poor performance last week in Munich.
We see already the officiating crew on the field. Whitehead will be Stanley Hamida, who will be announcing the penalties and will be head and of charge of the game on the field. And the Raiders are entering the pitch, and we have to talk right away because the Raiders Tirol are coming in with a new quarterback. Their starting quarterback for the start of the season, Stephen Krajewski, injured himself in last week's game, and they have a substitute that is very well known throughout European and German football, especially because he won with the Potsdam Royals the GFL Bowl last season. Kenyatte Allen is leading the offense for the Raiders Tirol. But what will the Raiders Tirol have to do to have a chance in this matchup?
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. You talked about it, Kenyatte Allen as the new quarterback. They announced it just yesterday evening, so the Frankfurt Galaxy could not prepare for it. We actually don't know if he just came in yesterday or if he has been practicing with the group already, but we've seen this a couple times this year already. If a new American import comes in, it's really hard to get on the same page on such a short notice. So I think we will see a couple of designed quarterback runs because that's one thing he's really good at. And they have to find a way to keep the Frankfurt offense off the field.
And it will be very interesting to see how he connects with Aaron Jackson, the star wideout of the Raiders Tirol, who is back from the injured reserve list and will be, I think he was on the roster last week as well, but didn't have such a big influence on the matchup against the Nordic Storm, which the Raiders Tirol lost with 14-40. And we're waiting for the Frankfurt Galaxy to hit the field. The Galaxy is coming into this matchup, you said it already, Lorenz, after a very, very weak performance in week 9, where they lost with 5-38 to the Munich Ravens. They definitely have to step up today and show what they're made of. But one thing is for sure, the offense of the Frankfurt Galaxy will be again led by Mr. Ethan Garbers, the throughout Europe only quarterback that has not thrown an interception so far. So that will be something that will be motivating for the defensive backfield of the Raiders Tirol, because you could be the first one who catches an interception against Mr. Ethan Garbers, the number 12, playing for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
And you all know that if that's going to happen today, I will blame Opu for the commentator jinx that Ethan Garbers throws his first interception.
Okay, let's hope this is not happening, but we're not biased. So we want to enjoy a really nice football matchup here at the PSD Bank Arena. And as I said before, it's actually, for all European American football fans, only known as the Purple Hell. You played in the Purple Hell numerous times in your life. What is it like to play in front of this audience in this stadium?
I mean, I might be biased, but I think those are the best fans in whole of Europe. I was an offense player, so for me it was pretty simple because it was quiet when I was on the field. But I know for a fact that if you play as an opponent there on the offense, it's so hard to communicate with your teammates. It really gets loud. The fans are sitting really close to the stadium. There's around 4,000 seating spaces in the stadium, and they're always almost sold out. So it looks packed, it is packed, it gets loud, and that definitely has an impact on the opposing offense.
We already saw the head coach of the Frankfurt Galaxy, Mr. Thomas Kösling, and he will be facing off with a head coach that he's very good friends with. Shuan Fatah and Thomas Kösling have a long history together. They're really good friends. They respect each other. So this will be a very, very interesting battle today as we see the players of the Frankfurt Galaxy hitting the field. As we see with the smoke, it's not very windy. It's about 78, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, about 26, 27 degrees centigrade. So it's all set up for a interesting football matchup between the Frankfurt Galaxy and the Raiders Tirol.
And adding to that, Opel, we talked about it before the game. On paper, the Raiders Tirol can also still make the playoffs because they will play Frankfurt today and then they play Prague and Paris. So the direct opponents when it comes to that fourth spot. So with a win today, they might kickstart something that a few people thought would be still possible if you start the season 0-7.
But no discussion for the Raiders Tirol. The big headline above the remainder of the season is losing is definitely forbidden. If you still want to have a chance to join the Big Four tournament, you all should get your tickets for the Big Four tournament. It will be held in this stadium here in the PSD Bank Arena on the 15th and 16th of August when the four best teams of the European Football Alliance play it out. Who is going to get its tickets to join the stadium in Tirol where the final will be played, the Tivoli Stadium in beautiful Innsbruck, Tirol. And we see the starting defense of the Frankfurt Galaxy coming out of the tunnel. Mason Chambers, the free safety of the Frankfurt Galaxy and the heart of the defensive backfield naturally. He's joined by Enrique, the Dutch cornerback. Enrico Chagoya also playing. But I guess Jalen Clay, is he active or is he not active? That is still a question mark behind number 3, the U.S. cornerback of the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yeah, Jalen Clay did not enter the field when the starting defense was announced. So we'll see if he's active. I will definitely have a close look on it because he's another key cornerstone to that defense.
See the the players with their last preparations. Everybody's getting ready for the national anthems. For all Americans joining us, naturally today there will be 2 anthems because it's not like last week where Munich and Frankfurt were facing each other, where 2 teams from Germany were facing each other. The Raiders Tirol naturally are coming from Austria, so we're going to hear the Austrian national anthem and the German national anthem. This was part 1 of the official procedures before we're going to get to the kickoff. Next will be, naturally, the coin toss. Whitehead, Stanley Hamada will ask the team captains to the middle, and then we'll find out who will have the first offensive possession. This is always a battle whether you choose to get the ball first or whether you defer and you want to have it in the start of the third quarter. What did you like best? I mean, you've been a wide receiver. You probably always wanted the ball, right?
Yeah, I agree. I always wanted the ball, and I think it also gives you it sets another statement if you start with the ball. It kind of tells me that the team is confident in scoring and taking the lead early and just wanting to push their game plan on the opponent. Whereas if you defer to the second half, you might be a more defensive-minded team and then start with the ball in the second half. But I always wanted, and I also do like that the Ravens, for example, always choose the ball first. And so far, they haven't lost a game, so it kind of pays off for them.
Although statistically seen, if you defer, you have a better chance to win. It's a strange statistic, but it's a statistic. If you defer and you get the ball starting to the third quarter, you most of the times have one drive more than the opponent. But we're getting into the coin toss.
CDU parliament member at the state of Hessen, and she will be also a special guest for today's coin toss. Here is the coin. Each team is represented by their team logo, so we will go directly into the coin toss. Anja, please flip the coin. Okay, it's Tirol Raiders won the coin toss and deferred. Frankfurt will receive the ball in the first half. Which side of the field do you want to kick to? Okay, thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and good luck.
So the first decision is made in this matchup. The Raiders Tirol won the coin toss and they deferred to the second half. So we will see Ethan Garbers and the offense of the Frankfurt Galaxy first on the field, as we see starting running back for the Raiders Tirol, Tim Tonko, although officially the starting running back will be Lukas Hasselwanter. Jonas Fuschelberger, defensive back, and here we have the head coach, Mr. Shuan Fatah, who I can say proudly started his American football journey exactly on the same day as I did, with the Berlin Adler at that time in Germany, in Berlin. And we already noticed there is a good amount of volume by the spectators. This is one of the weird things in this stadium. In this stadium, it's totally loud if it's packed with people. But if there are only 5 people on each side, it's also loud. The volume in this stadium is absolutely strange. Kickoff was done by Mr. Jonathan Loria, but he missed the kickoff target zone, if I noticed that correctly. So the Galaxy and Ethan Garbers will have a really good field position starting their first drive in this matchup.
Failed to reach the kick target line, kicking team number 29. The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line, first down. Frankfurt.
Thomas Kösling, always easy to recognize him on the sideline with this bright, what is it, green, yellow sweater that he's always having.
Correction. The spot of the foul is a 45-yard line, and that's the spot where the ball will be placed. First down, Frankfurt.
So the Frankfurt Galaxy will have the first drive of this matchup starting at the 45-yard line, as we just heard Stanley Hamuda, the whitehead of this matchup, announcing it. And there we have the offense starting running back Anthony Marvin Buembe, who really worked himself into that spot during the season.
Line. So by rule 30, the penalty is 30 yards from the spot of the kick, which is a 40-yard line. First down, Frankfurt.
I think they figured it out now. It should be the 40-yard line, and it looks like that's where they put the ball now. Yes.
Starting wide receivers, naturally, number 81, Brevin Easton, number 5, Paul Leonard, and number 11, Norman Schum. But the Galaxy is starting with a run play, and they're having a massive ground attack here in the first drive.
Great start to the game. Marvin Buembe over the left side, right behind Luka Jokiel, the left tackle. And that's why he got the starting job after a couple of games behind Gerard Ameln. You see him, picks up speed over the left side. Nice opening play to start the game.
Oh, little confusion, little problems here for the Galaxy offense. Anthony Buembe did not choose the designated gap he was supposed to run through because that was closed. And then he tried to find a way out, which did not work out at all.
Yeah, we missed the start of the play, but I saw that last week when Frankfurt played in Munich as well. They tried to play a no-huddle, hurry-up offense. But so far, today it looks like it again, as we see here, second down. It doesn't really translate to the game. You want to do that as an offense to catch the defense off guard. But to me, it more feels like the Frankfurt Galaxy offense is then a little nervous, a little hectic.
Exactly, and that was exactly the impression that I had when they played in Munich against the Ravens, when they played no huddle. One had the slight feeling that of 11 offensive players, only 5 knew exactly what was called. First pass by Ethan Garbers, which is tipped by Precious Okbevone.
Yeah, he tried to hit Nico Schrammmann over the middle here, and I think Nico Schrammmann was there, and then Ethan Garber saw it like maybe a second late, so Precious Okbevone could get into the spot and deflect that ball. No chance for Nico Schrammmann to catch that ball.
And Ethan Garbers stays with no interceptions so far in this season. We see Ryan Rimler, one of the, without a doubt, one of the best kickers throughout Europe. But this one is no good. So we remain at the score of 0-0, and we're waiting for the first offensive drive of Kenyatte Allen as the quarterback for the Raiders Tirol. You said it when we started into this broadcast. Kenyatte Allen is known not only to be a pretty precise passer, but also somebody who can definitely be called a dual-threat quarterback. He loves to run with the ball. We know him, he played for the Leipzig Kings, then he had a short stint with the Stuttgart Surge before he played in the German Football League for the back-to-back champion Potsdam Royals.
Yeah, he definitely adds another layer to their offensive game they have been missing so far. Let's see if he can bring it on the field today.
And he's coming out trying to find a passer, but he is running right away, and that should be a new set of downs for the Raiders Tirol.
First play, and we see it right away. Faked the handoff, was supposed to be a pass. He couldn't find his first option, and then he took off and ran for a first down. I think we will see that a couple of times today, because it's impossible to be in the playbook, deep into the playbook, as good as you want to be if you had 2 or 3 practices with the team at max.
Plus, the Frankfurt Galaxy defense was not really able to prepare for the quarterback play of Kenyatte Allen, who finds his number 1 target, without a doubt, Aaron Jackson, one of the best wide receivers throughout Europe.
Yeah, it's good to have him back. They really missed him in those weeks that he spent on IR. And we've seen here Max Köser, the OC for the Raiders Tirol. They will make Kenyatte Allen's life as easy as possible. Fake the handoff again, and then a quick decision, short pass to Aaron Jackson. Make him gain a couple of yards.
Flush doubles, 2 wide receivers on each side of the offense. And now the shift to the outside by the running back. Pass over the middle. And this is complete by Aaron Jackson. Although, Lorenz, I think this pass was actually not designed to find the hands of Aaron Jackson.
Yeah, I think he got lucky there, because to me it looked like one of the Frankfurt Galaxy guys had his hands on the ball already. But then great effort by Aaron Jackson to stay up and gain a couple of extra yards.
First and 10 for the Raiders Tirol in their opening drive here at the PSD Bank Arena. Short pass to the outside from Kenyatte Allen, finding again Aaron Jackson.
A very methodical drive so far for the Raiders Tirol, and I really like what they do. They make Kenyatte Allen's life easy. He makes great, fast decisions. And so far, they're moving the ball.
And Kenyatte Allen and Aaron Jackson definitely know each other, because, as I mentioned, Kenyatte Allen played for Potsdam, and only 30 kilometers away is Berlin, where Aaron Jackson played last year when he was with the Berlin Rebels. First and 10 on the 15. Quick pass to the outside. Fans Adrian Platzgummer.
Yeah, looked like all hitches again, but I don't mind that they keep calling the same play. If the Frankfurt Galaxy defense doesn't adjust and they give the opponent's receivers 6, 7, 8 yards to run the hitches, if you can hit it right on the spot, you can move the ball, you can stay ahead of the Janes, and the Raiders Tirol are doing a really good job so far in this opening drive.
And if we consider that the Raiders are playing with a brand new quarterback, it's a very impressive opening drive. And there we have the first touchdown of this game. Run by Tim Tonko, touchdown Tirol Raiders.
Perfect mix of pass and run. Little motion before the snap by Marco Schneider to confuse the defense, catch him off guard, and great blocking up front. Tim Tonko untouched into the end zone. I'm impressed, Opu.
Me too. Tim Tonko, it's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and Jonathan Luria signs up for the PAT. A little high snap, but the kick is no good. That was close.
That was close. It was a little slice by Jonathan Luria. Started off to the right, and
there we hear the golfer talking. That was a little slice.
Kind of went right off the upright.
So 6-0 the lead for the guests from Austria, the guests from Tirol, the Raiders.
Yeah, and coming back to Kenyatta Allen, once again, what I really like so far, that he is really relaxed in this offense. Like he doesn't look stressed at all. He looks like he knows what to do, and I really do like that, because that's definitely not for granted that a quarterback comes in, plays in this environment, comes to a team that hasn't won so far, but that first drive was really impressive by him and that whole offense.
Well, it can actually be good for your team if there is a new quarterback coming in. You break down the playbook a little bit, and then you have less plays, and sometimes this is something that really helps your offense to simplify everything, because offense coordinators, you know it as well, Lorenz, sometimes have this tendency to overcomplicate everything, and they forget that those 11 guys out there have to play ball.
I totally agree, and if we look at that drive, it was a very simple drive, easy play calls, hitches on the outside. Frankfurt Galaxy could not defend it, no negative plays, and it led to a touchdown.
Returning team. Penalty is at 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Frankfurt.
So as we see the return of Tyler Foster, again, there was a holding. I think that was right here in the middle by number 15. Luca Moa, who had the holding call, as we see Shuan Fatah, who can be pretty pleased with the first couple minutes what his team shows here visiting the Frankfurt Galaxy. Second drive for the Galaxy, high snap. Ethan Garbers manages to control the ball and finds his tight end, Adria Butella Moreno.
Yeah, high snap, great control that he got control of that snap, and then a quick pass over the middle, a play call that worked numerous times so far this season for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Next pass by Garbers, which is complete, should be to number 8, Tyler Foster, exactly. But we have a flag on the field.
Yeah, it looked to me that he got tackled at his face mask. I think that's what they're discussing right now as well. Either a face mask, yes, that's a clear face mask by Fabi. No, it's Paltz, number 13. So that should add another 15 yards to the end of that play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 15. Penalties at 15 yards and automatic first down.
So a nice gift for the Frankfurt Galaxy offense. Chain crew is moving. First and 10 at the Galaxy's 40s. Oh, no, at the Raiders 34. Play action fake. Garbers going deep to the end zone. Touchdown, Brevin Easton.
And that's how you answer. Great drive by the Frankfurt Galaxy. Brevin Easton over the middle. Another play fake. And a great play design because they brought in Tyler Foster in motion and he held the safety low. So Brevin Easton could go deep behind him. And then great ball tracking by number 81 here for
his fifth
touchdown
of the season. Number 81, Brevin Easton. Ryan Rimler for the PAT. This is close, but it's good. So that's the first league for the Frankfurt Galaxy. 7-6. That was really close.
That was really close. I think he was expecting a little slice, but now he kicked it straight up the hash mark, but got right in. And coming back to that play call, a really good route by Tyler Foster. He got in motion from the left side, had a little dig over the middle. That's what helped one safety down, and then Brevin Easton with his speed got open over the post, and a great ball by Ethan Garbers. And that was a fast answer by the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yeah, as we hear it, kicker Ryan Rimler is one of the fan favorites in Frankfurt. So this is starting very interesting here in Frankfurt, this matchup between the Galaxy and the Raiders. Raiders will see whether their second offensive drive will be as effective as the first one.
Yeah, you talked about it, Opu. The playbook is probably a little bit limited due to the fact that Kenyati Allen had only a week to practice with the Raiders Tirol offense. In the beginning, that's not a problem, but if the game goes on like that and it's punch after punch and one team scores and another, I think the Frankfurt Galaxy will have a little, can dig a little deeper in their playbook. But let's see if they can put up another drive like the first one.
First and 10, starting at the 35. They run the ball with Lukas Hasselwanter. And this is something the Raiders Tirol, I don't know if this is cloning, but all their running backs look alike. Whether it's Lukas Hasselwanter, Tobias Bonatti, or Tim Tonko, they're only differentiated by 2 centimeters in height. And their running style is absolute identical, so it's really hard sometimes to differentiate. Now the Raiders are coming out, empty backfield, 4 wideouts to the right of Kenyati Allen. But he finds Aaron Jackson for a short gain outside route.
Yeah, again, a very nice and easy play design. 4 receivers to the right, Aaron Jackson to the left against the European cornerback Henrik. You take that one-on-one, he gives you the cushion. Easy, nice out route is enough for the first down.
Lukas Hasselwanter in as a running back. Kenyati Allen from the shotgun. And there we have a run play by number 24, Lukas Hasselwanter, and that was a major collision. But Hasselwanter kept his feet.
I think it will go backwards though, because
Number 56, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, repeating first down.
Because that flag was
the new left tackle holding call against him.
Yeah, and you talked about the running backs, the three running backs. We've seen Haselwanta and Tonko so far. They still have Tobias Bonati, and that was one of the biggest strengths over the past couple of years. Their three-headed backfield that really would go all out, and I think that's one thing they have to get back to today. They have to have a good ground attack to open up those passing lanes for Kenyati Allen and also take some pressure off his shoulders.
Trips to the left, but the pass goes to the outside to Aaron Jackson, who converts this into a new set of downs. 1st and 10 for the Raiders Tirol.
I do have to correct you because it was a holding penalty before, so now it should be 2nd and 9.
Oh,
nevertheless,
I'm
a good gain. And the same play that we saw before on the other side. And here we see number 27 Junior making the tackle, so that tells me that Jalen Clay actually is not playing today. I haven't seen him on the field yet, but the corners are number 27 Junior and number 0 Henrik.
And naturally it's 2nd and 8 for the Raiders Tirol at their own 49-yard line. Next pass, next completion for Kenyati Allen. This time he finds Felix Kanta. No, Marco Schneider. I'm sorry. Felix Kanta has number 10.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I like about Kenyati Allen so far. He's spreading the ball around. Obviously, number 1 Aaron Jackson is his top 2 or top go-to guy. But nevertheless, Adrian Platzgoma had a catch already. Now Marco Schneider converts this pass for a new first down. And that's another strength this Raiders Tirol offense has. They have a bunch of playmakers.
Again, a quick pass to the outside. This time he finds Toni Rabensteiner, Italian wide receiver, playing for the Raiders Tirol.
Another hitch. This time he finds his slot receiver, but he also keeps his legs turning and makes it a very manageable 2nd down.
Second and 4. Kenyati Allen on the drop back. Scrambling, finding some room, and he slides for the next set of downs.
Yeah, let's see if they give it to him, because he might have started sliding a little too early. So let's see if it's a first down or 3rd and 1. Nevertheless, this move here, Rodion Hendrik comes on a corner blitz. He recognizes it, makes a move, and gains positive yards afterwards.
So far, Kenyati Allen makes a fantastic impression for the Raiders Tirol. Handoff, run play for the last remaining yard, and that should be first down. There's a little shuffling around. Lucas Haselwanta was the ball carrier. Yeah, one can already notice in this game here today that there's a lot on the line for both teams.
I agree, Oppo, and so far, from what I'm seeing, both teams are telling me they really want to win this game, and that's slated for a great matchup through all 4 quarters.
Raiders are easily in Galaxy territory. 28-yard line. Kenyati Allen on the rollout. Fortunately, the camera missed a little bit the action, but it was a complete pass to number 26, Tim Tonko.
Yeah, the camera missed the action, or the fake was so good that the cameraman fell for it. Fake the handoff here, rollout, designed rollout to the right. Tim Tonko gets in front of him. That's another easy play design. Great call by the OC that keeps the offense moving.
Pass to the outside to the running back. And this is number 24, Lukas Hasselwanter again. And I think by now you noticed what I said. It's really hard to differentiate whether it's Lukas Hasselwanter or Tim Tonko. Tim Tonko is actually 2 centimeters smaller than Lukas Hasselwanter. That's the only thing that differentiates those two.
Yeah, and so far you're doing a great job of recognizing who gets the ball, Upu.
Thanks a lot. First and goal for the Raiders Tirol at the 7-yard line of the Frankfurt Galaxy. Hand off again. And that gets the Raiders Tirol up to the 3 or 4-yard line. Ball carrier Lukas Hasselwanter.
Yeah, that was a big collision over the middle. The first couple of seconds, it looked to me like Hasselwanter might push his opponent into the end zone, but then reinforcement of that big defensive line came, and big number 90, Marc-Anthony Hoare, was there to stop Hasselwanter. Still a good gain by the Raiders Tirol.
And Marc-Anthony Hoare, you don't push him back a meter. No chance, because this guy is an alien. Kenyatta Allen with the handoff. And there is the next touchdown for the Raiders Tirol. Lukas Hasselwanter with the score for his team, for Shuan Fatah's team.
Yeah, great play design once again. 2 wing tight ends to the right, and Hasselwanter evades 1 tackle. But I think, I think they will look at it again, because that knee was definitely down. The question is, where was the ball when his knee touched the ground?
So Stanley Hamidar and co are heading to the side of the field to view whether that was a touchdown for the Raiders Tirol or not. But what it definitely was a second very convincing drive by the Raiders Tirol. And as I mentioned before, 15th and 16th of August here in the Purple Hell in the PSD Bank Arena in Frankfurt. The big 4 of the EFA. Just flip out your mobile phone, scan, and you are a big step closer to your tickets for the Big 4 tournament. So you do think, Lorenz, that this is coming back, right? That this will be third and inches?
Yeah, it looked short to me in life, but to be fair, every slow-mo we have seen so far is not convincing enough to overturn it. And since they gave it, or they called it a touchdown on the play, I think it's hard to overturn. Unless the referees had another angle that we haven't seen yet.
After review, the ruling on the field as the runner was short to goal line, 3rd down.
So they overruled the initial calling of a touchdown. It's 3rd and inches, not even a yard, inches for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kenyatta Allen goes under center here now and maybe just pushes it in himself, because he is a big quarterback that is hard to stop.
About 92, 93 kilos. And there he does exactly what Lorenz Regler asked. Although the Galaxy players are saying there was a false start by the offense, which I have not seen, I have to be honest.
Yeah, it looked a little off to me, but I think he definitely crossed the plane. Let's see what the refs decide on the field. Oh, okay.
Whitehead is signaling 4th down.
And I think the Raiders Tirol will challenge that now. Schuhan Fata probably has thrown his red challenge flag.
Raiders Tirol are challenging the ruling on the field of a stopped forward progress just before the goal line.
Okay,
So
1-0
that's an
for
interesting
Lorenz
call.
Regler.
It's an interesting call because the Frankfurt Galaxy players, they claimed it right away. It looked like a false start to me. That would have pushed them back 5 yards. They didn't call the false start. Then to me, there was a clear forward progress by Kenyatta Allen, and the ball was already inside the 1 yard line. So I think they will look at it again.
I was about to say, they either call the false start against the Raiders or it's a touchdown, because
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Kenyatta Allen was definitely crossed the goal line. Not
Yeah,
there
you can
at
see
all,
here.
but a little later, and the forward progress is definitely not stopped.
Yeah, he's laying on a bunch of Frankfurt Galaxy and Raiders Tirol players, but you see where the ball was, and I think you also see that he crosses the plane here.
So a lot of work for the officiating crew already in this matchup. We'll see whether Schuhan Fatah, the head coach of the Raiders Tirol, is successful with his challenge. Otherwise, he loses a timeout.
After review, the ring on the field is a touchdown.
Yes, and I think that is the right call by the refs. So they overturned it twice, but twice it's the right call. So good job by the referees. And another great drive by the Raiders Tirol.
And a good decision by Schuhan Fatah to throw that red flag to challenge this call. He keeps all his timeouts, and the Raiders Tirol are having the lead here in Frankfurt against the Galaxy. Jonathan Loria, the place kicker of the Raiders Tirol so far. Pretty solid, pretty decent place kicker. That one went off to the left. That is no good. So 2 PATs, both of them did not work out. So the Raiders Tirol are leading it 12-7.
Yeah, a couple of hiccups in the kicking game so far for the Raiders Tirol. Frankfurt Galaxy, they missed a field goal, but it was a very long field goal. It was a field goal over 50 yards. If it keeps going like that, the Raiders Tirol might have to think about going for 2 after their touchdowns, because those extra points can definitely make a difference in what looks like it's going to be a close game.
Well, and I do know that a lot of spectators from the US are always asking themselves, why is it that in Germany or in Europe there is such a bad kicking game? Because this is like soccer territory. All I'm saying is, guys, look what the German national team did at the World Championships, and you know why the kicking is a little poor. But there is much more than kicking the ball. There has to be, the long snap has to be on the money, and the holder has to do his job perfectly. And this is something that you notice throughout all European American football teams. It's so hard to find a really good long snapper. There are always problems coming up. It's not that easy to have a good long snap. I mean, it's easy if you don't have anybody in front of you trying to rip you apart, but as soon as there's a defense player in front of you, it's a different story. So the Frankfurt Galaxy, with their next drive, they're starting it at their own 40-yard line, run play over the middle, just a gain of about 1 yard.
Yeah, and just adding to that what you just said, Opu, I think one thing that's really needs to be said as well, if you practice 2, 3, maybe 4 times a week, you spend way much time practicing offense and defense than special teams. And yes, the kickers practice on their own, but nevertheless, like real team reps at full speed against a good defense, they get not a lot. So that definitely impacts the kicking game.
Well, the Galaxy comes out with a lot of shifting going on. Empty backfield, 4 wideouts to the left of Ethan Garbers. Quick pass to the outside, finding number 8, Tyler Foster. But good defensive work by the Raiders.
Yeah, that was a great disruptive tackle here by the Raiders. Nevertheless, if you have 4 receivers to the left and 3 are designed to block for your receiver, one guy shouldn't come through like that.
This is the end of our first quarter.
So we saw a very interesting first quarter with the Raiders Tirol really surprising us, having the league 12-7 with their brand new quarterback, Kenyatte Allen. We have a short break and then we come back to the start of the second quarter.
There is a change of the jersey of the player number 60, 76 to 64 in the Frankfurt.
So we're back and let's start the second quarter of the Frankfurt Galaxy that are on offense with their quarterback Ethan Garbers, who has a lot of time to throw his pass, but this is very well defended by Angelo Gross, the cornerback of the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, great protection here for Ethan Garbers, and he was scanning the field.
Number 63, penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
We heard a holding call against the Frankfurt Galaxy, so that was one of the reasons why he had that much time. Nevertheless, he couldn't find an open teammate.
The player was number 67.
And the Frankfurt Galaxy will have to punt since they're still in their own territory.
And this time it's one of those unique moments where I can correct Lorenz Regler because it was not a holding. It was an ineligible player downfield. So it's 1-1. The punt is off. Beautiful punt. But that goes into the end zone. So the Raiders will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Already leading this game here 12-7. There is a lot of topics that the Galaxy has to talk about, especially on offense, because the offense does not look very intact there. It seems strange.
Yeah, I agree. They're not really in rhythm. And one thing that, I've seen last week, and it also has been today, they either have big plays, gains of 20 yards plus, or they tend to stay behind the line. Well, we have to switch that because...
Oh, nice completion Nice yard by Toni Rabensteiner, who had the ball delivered by Kenyatte Allen.
Man, the Raiders Tirol are looking like a different team, Opu. Great play design here again, faking the inside run deep in their own half and then hitting Rabensteiner on a seam over the middle.
Yeah, they're winless so far this season, but they had a couple of close games where they already showed what they're capable of. One shouldn't forget they lost only by 1 point against the Prague Lions. And they showed a very tough game in Paris against the Musketeers, where they only lost 17-24. And here we see the third running back in, number 25, Tobias Bonatti. Kenyatte Allen from the shotgun trips to the right. 2nd and 8. Next pass complete. He finds number 4 again, Marco Schneider.
Yeah, a little fake screen to the outside receivers. The inside receivers start acting like they're blocking and then go up the sideline. And another perfect placed ball by Kenyatte Allen. Opu, I don't know if he has missed one of his throws yet. I think he might still be perfect.
I think so as well. So it's definitely a very strong performance so far for Kenyatte Allen, number 5, the brand new quarterback that is replacing Steven Krajewski. Play action fake, short pass to the outside. And again, he finds Marco Schneider. And Marco Schneider, I think, Lorenz, you know him already for a couple of years, one of the best hands throughout Europe.
Yeah, great athlete, dynamic playmaker. If he has his ball in hands, you can see here he's so hard to get down, always tries to stay upfield and gain more yards. He has a really good game so far.
So it's 2nd and about 5 yards exactly. Now the graphics are correct. Again, trying to find Marco Schneider, but there's a flag coming in.
Yeah, I was about to say, there we have the first incompletion, but you could see that Marco Schneider was being held by the defense player. So that should actually turn into a new first down for the Raiders Tirol.
Holding. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty and out the money. First down.
So exactly as our color commentator saw it, there was a holding against number 4, Marco Schneider. So a new set of downs for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, it wasn't much by Finn Schwarkos, but it was enough to get Kenyatte Allen and Marco Schneider off rhythm, and it's the right call by the referees. So new set of down for the Raiders Tirol.
Well, it's actually never about whether it's a lot or it's not a lot. It's whether the referees see it or not. And this time the referees definitely saw that. So at the 10-yard line, the Raiders Tirol with the new set of downs. Pass, Aaron Jackson, touchdown, Raiders Tirol. The Raiders are balling.
The Raiders are balling. Kenyatte Allen is balling. Aaron Jackson is balling. That whole offense is balling. Opu, wow. This time the Frankfurt Galaxy defense showed pressure, brought pressure. They faked the handoff again. That freezes the defender for like half a second. And then a perfectly placed ball once again. And let's see if Loria can add to that lead now.
Extra point. This one is through the uprights. And the Raiders Tirol are leading 19-7. This could develop into a trap game for the Frankfurt Galaxy. And we should not forget, the Galaxy are bound to make it to the Big Four, because the Big Four is being played in their home stadium. So that would be an absolute disaster for the Galaxy if they wouldn't make it to be under the top 4 teams of the EFA.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I remember just last week when I covered the game in Munich, the Frankfurt Galaxy in Munich, I talked about if the Frankfurt Galaxy can beat the Munich Ravens today, they might actually look into spot 2 or 1. And now they lost pretty hard to the Munich Ravens, and they're losing to the Raiders Tirol right now. And all of a sudden we're talking about, oh, it might actually get close for the Frankfurt Galaxy, because they still play Nordic Storm, that only lost to the Munich Ravens so far. And then they will play the Prague Lions in the last week of the regular season, which are definitely getting better as the season goes on as well.
And we have to keep in mind the Galaxy did not only lose to the Munich Ravens, they got really slapped pretty badly and been kicked out of Munich really badly. Did not have a single offensive point, just a field goal by Ryan Rimler and a safety, because the Munich Ravens messed up the long snap on a punting attempt. So that was a really devastating game for the Frankfurt Galaxy. But today is a different story. Today they are the clear favorites to win this game, but they're down 7-19. Ethan Garbers and his offense starting the drive at the 40-yard line. Hand off to number 26, which is naturally Anthony Buembe.
Yeah, that was the same play the Frankfurt Galaxy started that game with. This time over the right side. It's a positive game, but it wasn't as positive as at the start of the game.
Ethan Garbers already scanning the defense. 2nd and 7. 2nd and 8. Oh, incomplete pass because Adria Botella Moreno couldn't hold that one. Good pass by Ethan Garbers, actually.
Yeah, really good pass by Ethan Garbers, and Botella Moreno showed it right away. He tapped his chest. That means, hey, that's on me. I definitely should have caught that ball. It would have been enough for a first down, but now once again you're caught on a 3rd and long.
Normally, number 87, the 6'5" tight end of the Galaxy, Adria Botella Moreno, a really sure target. Very good hands. Those kind of things like we just saw are normally not in his repertoire. And there's a timeout taken.
Timeout. Frankfurt Galaxy. Is their first team timeout in the first half.
So the Frankfurt Galaxy definitely has to talk things over because, again, like last week, they don't get their offense rolling. It's not really working. I'm not really sure whether it's the offensive line where they had to do some kind of shifts and personal new settings, but they definitely have a problem. It's not that they're moving the ball. It's not that they look like, this sounds harsh, but they don't give me the impression that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's very one-dimensional, I feel like. They have a couple of runs in their playbook that work every now and then, but not always. Their passing game is somewhat limited, and it just to me it seems like they cannot find their rhythm. And right now, if the momentum is against them, just like last week in Munich, just like right now, they don't seem to have the energy on the field to get out of it and to actually punch back.
Trips to the right of Ethan Garbers. Third and 8, but this is definitely a penalty.
Full start. Everybody but the center. Frankfurt, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And that was one of the
Whitehead
things
has
that
to smile. because everybody moves but the center. I think that's like the funniest announcement you can do as a whitehead.
That was one of the main reasons why they couldn't move the ball last week as well. They had numerous penalties against the offense. That looked way better so far starting of this game, but now if that keeps adding on, I don't think that will get better.
Deep pass, trying to hit Brevin Easton, but incomplete.
Yeah, they cannot connect here on this fade route. He had a step actually on his defender, but the ball was a little bit underthrown. Brevin Easton tried to turn around, get back to the ball, but could not haul it in. Even though I think he had a chance to actually grab that ball, that's not an easy catch because Gross is in a good position, disrupting his rhythm, but nevertheless, Brevin Easton definitely is that type of receiver that wants to come down with that ball.
And with 10:39 to play in the first half, the Galaxy is punting the ball again. This is what you call a positive bounce for the punting team.
Yeah, not a good punt, but a great bounce. And then they tried to jump Grossi here and try to push him into the ball. As you can see, he's pointing like, hey, stay away from the ball, and then they're trying to push him into the ball because if he touches the ball, it would be a free ball, but pushing him into it would actually result in a penalty.
So it's again the offense of the visitors from Austria, the Raiders Tirol, that are showing an impressive offensive game so far. Play action fake, Kenyatta Allen goes deep. And this is complete. There is the next touchdown of the Raiders Tirol. Lorenz, I don't know what we're witnessing here today. As you said before, this is a totally different team in silver and black compared to what we've seen so far. And Kenyatta Allen shows what kind of an arm he has. Wow.
What a ball by Kenyatta Allen. So far he has shown that he can really accurately spread the ball around, but now he comes out first play of the drive, deep bomb. Aaron Jackson on a post route is faster than his two opponents, and the Raiders Tirol are really putting up a statement so far.
And they're adding another point to it, so it's 26-7. Yeah, for everybody who just tuned into this game, you are reading correctly. The Raiders Tirol are leading 26-7 against the Frankfurt Galaxy. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable performance so far by the Raiders Tirol. Their defense really is stout. Frankfurt Galaxy offense cannot find their rhythm, and look at that offense. What a perfect pass by Kenyatta Allen, and Aaron Jackson says, thank you. I don't even have to run into the end zone. I can just walk it in.
But I am not a defensive expert, I have to say. But to be honest, if you're playing the Raiders Tirol and Aaron Jackson is on the field, one thing is for sure, your defensive backs, you don't let yourself be beaten deep by Aaron Jackson.
I totally agree, but then at the same time, the Raiders Tirol, they're up 19-7. The Frankfurt Galaxy defense maybe thought, okay, they will take their foot off the gas, and that's exactly what they not did. They just kept pushing the pedal to the metal, and yeah, hit a deep pass on the first play. I really like that play call by the offensive coordinator, Max Küssler.
Paul Leonard with the return. Yeah, exactly. The Raiders Tirol show something today that you would not expect from a team that has a 0-7 record. They're showing that they have self-confidence in what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And they also show that they have nothing to lose. They just went out there and they just ball. You said it before. They're really balling. Kenyatta Allen is a great addition to this team. is yet to throw an incompletion in this game, and that offense looks completely different than to the last weeks.
And the offensive attempts of the Galaxy always look the same so far. Run game is literally, except the first play of the game, not existing. Not really doing anything. And then they are always maneuver themselves in a situation where they have to take it deep to keep the drive alive, and this is easy to defend because you know what's coming.
Exactly.
Ethan Garbers finds his running back, Anthony Buembe, for a nice gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, quick pass to Buembe to the right side. He makes one guy miss, and he was one of the few guys that had a good game last week in Munich as well. So I think it's time to put that offense on his shoulders once again.
And definitely number 26 is living his breakout season so far, because he's really showing a lot of good things. Again, ball carrier Anthony Buembe. But again, this is not a first down, so we'll be 4th and maybe 2 yards to go.
Yeah, I think that play call definitely tells us that the offense will stay on the field. There's a short run over the right side. They would have not minded to get the first down, but 4th and short around midfield, I think they definitely will go for it.
Ethan Garbers is shifting it to empty backfield. They do need 2 more yards, so that is a little too much for a quarterback sneak. So Ethan Garbers is calling a timeout, 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Frankfurt Galaxy is their second team timeout in the first half.
Yeah, I think he didn't like what he saw when he shifted into the empty backfield, so he called that timeout on his own, and now they will talk about it. I still think they will go for it.
Well, in a way, they are already maneuvered themselves into a situation where they have to actually go for it, because they have to put some points on the board.
I agree, Opu, and to add to what you just said, remember, the Raiders Tirol won the coin toss and they deferred to the second half. So the Frankfurt Galaxy already has a drive more than the Raiders Tirol. So they really have to score here if they want to stay somewhat close to the Raiders Tirol.
I told you beforehand, you have to defer. 4th and 2. Garbers now taking matters into his own hands. New first down for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yeah, and the Raiders Tirol are frustrated because they know they could have stopped them right here. Good blitz design, unblocked, but Garbers can evade the blitz and run for
on the field for
a first down.
Player number 71 from Frankfurt.
Next run by the Frankfurt Galaxy. but we're back seeing Adria Botella Moreno, the tight end of the Frankfurt Galaxy, catching Ethan Garber's pass for the next touchdown for the Frankfurt Galaxy. So again, it had to be a deep pass from Ethan Garbers to give the Galaxy the chance to score. Adria Botella Moreno wide open, and then it's pretty hard to stop him before he gets into the end zone. Extra point, Ryan Limler is getting ready for the PAT. Kick is up, kick is good. For the second time, the Galaxy is on the scoreboard. New score, Raiders Tirol 26, Frankfurt Galaxy 13.
Good answer by the Frankfurt Galaxy offense, and a nice play design here, because usually you find Adria Botello Moreno over the middle. This time they let him sneak out to the sideline. Gets totally left alone by the Raiders Tirol, and that's a bad decision. No chance to stop him here before he crosses the plane. And good answer by that Frankfurt Galaxy offense that going forward on fourth down, therefore paid off.
So let's hear the fans in the PSD Bank Arena, because they're waking up the Galaxy with the next score in this matchup. 6:38 to play in the first half. But still, the Galaxy is behind 14-26. Still haven't delivered a defensive stop so far in this matchup, the Galaxy. Kickoff is out of bounds, so that...
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team number 29. The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line, first down, Raiders.
So again, a good field position for the Raiders Tirol at the 40-yard line. And I said it already last weekend, throughout this whole summer, I have the biggest respect for all the guys in the mascot costumes, because this must be so hot, this must be so hard with this kind of weather. As I said, we have about 79 degrees Fahrenheit, and then imagine you have all this plastic and foam around your body. This is not an easy job. First and 10, next pass from Kenyatta Allen, finding Aaron Jackson for a small gain.
Yeah, faked the handoff once again. Aaron Jackson with another hitch. And the Raiders Tirol make offensive football really look easy today. And it shows, reflecting in the scoreboard.
Yeah, Kenyatta Allen looking at his wristband. And again, he finds number 11 of his receiving core, which is the Italian Tony Rabensteiner.
Classic Italian name, Tony Rabensteiner. But we've seen that play design before, to the right side. This time it was to the left side. He has the chance to keep the ball, run by himself, or spread it to one of his receivers.
Funny that you mentioned it. I was about to say, US citizens do learn that not every Italian is called Angelo. It's Tony Rabensteiner. Next completion, this time to Lucas Hasselwanta. Again, this offense of the Raiders Tirol is a whole new story compared to what we saw in the first 7 games of the season.
Absolutely, and that is not an easy throw here to make on the run. Ball's on the left hash, you have to pass it on the spot to the right side. Perfect spot again, and I think we are witnessing a new record but so far Kenyatta Allen has not thrown an incompletion, and I think he's at around 15 or 16 pass attempts so far that were all successful. I don't know if we had that so far this year in the EFA.
Next handoff, run play, using Lukas Hasselwanta as the ball carrier. Bastian Silva Gomez, number 56, who came back from retirement to play again. I think you played with him, right?
I played with him. He was our defensive captain in the championship season in 2021. Great guy, great leader. Stepped away from the game, realized, okay, I miss it more than I thought I would, and now came back to play another year.
So for all Galaxy fans, I'm asking the question that everybody is asking himself: when are you coming back?
I mean, you know, I'm in my second year off now, so those days are over. I turned 30 this year, and Opu, you heard it here first. I started playing flag football, and flag football is so much fun without getting hit. You know, I wake up, I can just walk around, don't feel like a bus hit me the day before. I'm having a great time doing that. And actually, that's one thing I get asked a lot. I don't really miss it. You know, I miss being around the team. I miss traveling with the team. I miss the guys. I miss the stories that you create. But playing itself, not really.
So this is an old guy talking. Former wide receiver of the Frankfurt Galaxy, Lorenz Regler, our color commentator today. And still, some people in the stands can't believe what they're witnessing right now, because the Raiders Tirol so far are the better team here in Frankfurt in the Purple Hell.
Yeah, I agree. They just played their style of football, their somewhat newfound style of football. Kenyatta Allen is really convincing, and right now they're doing a good job also controlling the clock at the end of the second quarter.
3:43 to play in the first half. Kenyatta Allen drops back, scrambles, passes, and again finds Lukas Hasselwanta.
And that's so impressive, Oppo, because that's one thing that needs connection, that those plays also come to fruition. Like, he's scrambling through the right side, and it seems like Lukas Hasselwanta knows exactly where his quarterback wants him to be, and then another perfectly placed ball by Kenyatta Allen for a first down.
I think after this game I do have to contact Coach Shuan Fatah, because he cannot tell me that Kenyatta Allen just arrived this past week in Tirol, because they seem to be in sync really. Again, next nice blitz pick up by Kenyatta Allen, finding number 4, finding Marco Schneider.
Yeah. Just an overall great performance by this offense. They look like they do what they want to do. They do what they know they're capable of doing. And like I said just a few moments back, they're controlling the clock right now as well, which will help to keep that Frankfurt offense off the field.
And they're eliminating their mistakes. As you said, we're still waiting for the first incompletion of Kenyatta Allen.
I think that was a false start by the left tackle.
Offense number 79, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
The play clock was getting close to 0. But again, I think that's the first or second penalty we're seeing of the Raiders Tirol offense today, and that is not here. We can see it again on the left side, the false start. That is very unusual for a new quarterback who also brings in a new cadence, you know, who has his own style.
This is 2-minute warning.
So 2 more minutes left on the clock. We're having a little break, naturally, at the 2-minute warning. So you have the time to scan the code and get your tickets for the EFA Big 4 tournament 15th, 16th of August in this stadium, in the PSD Bank Arena in Frankfurt. So even for fans from the US, it's easy to get there. Frankfurt, one of the main international airports throughout Europe. So it's easy to find tickets from the US to come there. And I can tell you this will be one big American football festival, Europe style. There will be fans coming from all over Europe, traveling to Frankfurt to see the two half finals of the inaugural season of the European Football Alliance. The songs being played in the stadium you should know as US citizens, but the way the European fans are reacting to them, that's quite something you have to get used to. So 2 more minutes to play, and as Lorenz Regler already said, we have to keep in mind the Raiders Tirol won the coin toss. They deferred to the second half. So if they're scoring on this drive, they're getting the ball to start into the second half. This could be a major problem for the Galaxy. Kenyatta Allen, next pass, next touchdown. This time it's Toni Rabensteiner, touchdown, Raiders Tirol. What is going on here in Frankfurt?
Another perfectly placed ball by Kenyatta Allen, but that was definitely miscommunication in the backfield of the Frankfurt Galaxy, because Toni Rabensteiner should not be that wide open. You can see here he clears the apex defender and then is all by himself, no one near him. And Kenyatta Allen stays perfect.
Unbelievable what we're witnessing here. Could be the biggest setup of the whole season so far. The extra point is up and he splits it in half. Next point for the Raiders Tirol. New score 33-14 in favor of the guests from Austria. Nobody would have expected this.
No, I agree. Nobody would have expected this. And correct me if I'm wrong, Upo, but I think the Raiders Tirol lost the first game between those two 21-5. So that's a 16-point difference. So right now, the Raiders Tirol are not only winning this game, they're also winning the direct comparison with the Frankfurt Galaxy, which would actually, if they end up with the same record, 3-7, if the Raiders Tirol win out and the Frankfurt Galaxy loses out, would put them in front of the Frankfurt Galaxy.
So the Big Four tournament in their own stadium is at risk for the Frankfurt Galaxy. No return here by Paul Leonard. I have to admit, Lorenz, I'm a little speechless about what is happening here in this game.
Yeah, I think no one would have expected that the Raiders Tirol offense fire on all cylinders, score on every drive, don't even throw an incompletion, and their defense doing enough to keep the Frankfurt Galaxy to 2 scores. I'm really impressed by Shuan Fata and this whole team, and the way he found the right words to get his team set that they still believe in themselves after losing the first 7 games of the season.
Galaxy starting the drive with a deep pass of Ethan Garbers, finding his big, huge 6'5" tight end, Adria Butella Moreno.
Yeah, that was a great pass. Right down the seam to Adria Butella Moreno, where you usually find him, and he makes a great catch over the shoulder, holds on to the ball.
Ethan Garbers has a lot of time. He can go for himself. Should have decided a little earlier to take it on his own matters, I think.
I agree. If he decided a little earlier, I think he could have made a couple more yards. Now he went out of bounds on that first down. That stops the clock. They still have 1 timeout left. Time will definitely be a matter now on this drive for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Strong performance by the guys in silver and black so far on both sides of the ball. Definitely offense and defense. Really, they're showing what they're capable of, the team from Tirol, Austria. Brevin Easton gets the ball by Ethan Garbers and adds another couple of yards and a new first down for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yeah, that was a good play design. Little mesh concept here where Brevin Easton had the opportunity also sit down if he finds open space. Garbers and Brevin Easton were on the same page here. Nice yards.
Ethan Garbers running out of bounds, stopping the clock.
Purple 19. Purple 19.
48 seconds left in the first half here at PSD Bank Arena, or as it's known throughout Europe, the Purple Hell. And actually one has the feeling this offensive unit of the Frankfurt Galaxy, they do need the pressure, because this is developing into one of the most successful drives so far in this game. Next completion to number 87, Adria Botella Moreno, but he was hit furiously.
In the field for the injured player, number 87 from Frankfurt.
That was a big hit against Adria Botella Moreno. I'm impressed that he held on to the ball here. And obviously I hope he is okay. You can see here seam over the middle and that huge hit here by number 9.
Is a touchdown by Frankfurt.
And they're colliding head to shoulder.
6'5", 65. And he gets knocked over like nothing, but still he had the catch completed, and that should be a touchdown for the Frankfurt Galaxy. Very, very important score for the Galaxy.
I agree, Oppo. Very important score by them right before half. I mean, there's about 40 seconds now left on the clock. The Raiders Tirol do have 2 timeouts, so let's see what they will decide once they have the ball back. And Adria Botella Moreno is back up, cheering towards the fans. So I hope he's okay. And gets a little hug here by his tight coach.
He's not only huge, he's also a tough cookie. So just one hard hit will not put him on the sideline for the remainder of the game. I'm absolutely sure about it. Ryan Rimler lining up for the extra point that would make it a 21-33. Still in favor of the guests from Austria. And this one is through the uprights. The Raiders Tirol are still leading, 42 seconds to play in the first half, 33-21.
And here we see the play design again. They put Brevin Easton in motion, faked it to him, and then Adria Botella Moreno kind of snuck through the middle. And if you get that kind of hit, you might as well hold on to the ball because you get hit anyways. So good for him. Good for the Frankfurt Galaxy offense, and he's one of the few guys that is actually performing today for the Frankfurt Galaxy offense.
And Lorenz, as you have played as a wide receiver, you can definitely relate. If you hold on to the ball, it doesn't hurt as bad as if you lose the ball.
Exactly. I totally agree, and I've played against a bunch of American safeties that really knew how to hit. So yeah, I definitely relate here with Adria Botella Moreno. Whereas now, Frankfurt Galaxy once again did not land the ball inside the kicking zone, so that puts the ball at the 40, and now you have 42 seconds, 2 timeouts, I mean, so far the game is really going in the Raiders Tirol favor. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to add another score to that game.
Well, Kenyatta Allen already showed us what a strong arm he has. So this distance is definitely not a problem for him. Plus, he has Aaron Jackson, the speed star, wearing number 1 in the black jerseys. Oh, but this is a rush, and this is a massive gain for the Raiders Tirol. Where is the Frankfurt defense? Touchdown, Tobias Bonatti.
Man, I cannot believe it. That's the kind of play call you start this drive with to see how good it goes, how aggressive you can be. But if you score with that game, with that play, I mean, now I am speechless, Opu. Wow.
Well, naturally, everybody on the Galaxy defense expected a pass with only 41 seconds on the clock. But the Raiders Tirol are doing exactly the opposite, and Tobias Bonatti is taking it to the house. Poor tackling by the backfield, I have to say. Nobody even got close to Tobias Bonatti to stop him. And the Raiders Tirol, there are still 30 seconds on the clock. What are we witnessing here?
Yeah, it's overall by far the best performance we have seen by the Raiders Tirol. And we're looking at Thomas Köstling, my former head coach. I think he cannot believe either what he's seeing, and he's trying to find the right words now to address what is going on at halftime.
I mean, you know Coach K, as they call him, Thomas Köstling. That would be quite a noisy halftime speech, could it be?
Yeah, I think he's gonna get loud, but I also think they have to find the right adjustments on the defensive side of the ball to stop this offense, because that's the thing. The Raiders Tirol are doing nothing crazy. They're hitting quick passes, they're protecting Kenyatta Allen, they're powering the ball through the middle, but the Frankfurt Galaxy cannot find any answer to that.
Maybe it's a special teams play, but good kickoff coverage by the Raiders Tirol. Tyler Foster being knocked off his feet immediately. And yeah, I have to agree with you, Lorenz. The Raiders offense is not doing anything special, but everything they do works.
Exactly. They really came in with a plan, what they want to execute, and also a realization of, okay, what are we good at? And what's the thing we might have to push further back in the season? And so far, they're executing at a very high level. Frankfurt cannot find any answer. And let's see if Frankfurt now tries to put up a couple points before halftime with 23 seconds and 1 timeout left.
Ethan Garbers, deep pass to the outside, finding Tyler Foster, who is still on his feet and then is being pushed out of bounds. Son of the wide receiver coach.
Exactly. They're lining up fast. He went out of bounds, so that is perfect. Stops the clock, 15 seconds, and now you're already inside of the Raiders territory. And we've seen it before. Ryan Rimmler did not make the long field goal, but he definitely had the leg strength. It was just off to the right. So let's see if, they will give him a shot.
Yeah, it's about precision with Ryan Rimmler. He definitely has the leg for an easy 60-yard field goal. He definitely has the power in his leg, but it's all, as I said before, it's not only about the kicker. It's about the long snap, about the holder. And Shuan Fatah is still not satisfied about what he's seeing. You see him. He's got some thick veins at his neck.
Yeah, I mean, that game is going back and forth, and you wanna take that momentum into halftime. I mean, you put up 40 points in the first half. That would mean if you score like that in the second half, you would end up with 80 points, which is impressive. But at the same time, if you score and there's 23 seconds left on the clock, you don't want the other offense to give the team a good feeling going into halftime. So you really want to keep it out of the end zone. At max, allow a field goal to make it a 16-point game.
only once this season the Raiders Tirol put up plus 40 points on the board, and that was in 4 quarters, and that was their loss 44-45 against the Prague Lions. Ethan Garbers getting the ball out somehow to his running back. First time we see Gerald Amen in action, I think.
Yeah, but I think that will get called back.
Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, repeating first down.
That was a holding against, one of the new guys, the center, Dubravkic. He's talking to the ref here, asking what he did wrong. That was a magic play by Ethan Garbers, but now you're in your own territory again, 6 seconds left. So it has to be somewhat a short pass, either to the sideline, or you tell your receivers now, if you catch that ball, you go down right away, so we can call that timeout to give Ryan Rimler a chance to hit that field goal.
6 seconds left to play in this unbelievable first half here at PSD Bank Arena. Ethan Garbers drops back, goes to the outside, finds Gerald Ameln, but that is it. No more action we will see in the first half with 40-21. I repeat it. Raiders Tirol 40, Frankfurt Galaxy 21. And that should be the end of the first half.
This is the end of the first half.
Yeah, that was a bad play call by the Frankfurt Galaxy, because that's exactly what you didn't want to happen. Now you missed an opportunity to give Ryan Rimler a chance to at least try the field goal. But hey, I'm impressed by that Raiders team. I'm impressed of what they put out in the first half. And yeah, I think that's one of the better halves we've seen so far this year in general.
Lorenz, I can tell you, I can't wait for the second half to begin, because I'm still really curious about what this Raiders Tirol team is capable of showing us in the second half. We have a little break and we're back for the start of the third quarter. Joho, tschüssi, bis nachher. Was geht da ab, ey? Ja, ich krieg ja jetzt gleich die Halftime-Stats. Ich kann's kaum erwarten.
Yeah. You ready? Hey. Let's go. Back. I'm at my prime. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
After review, the ring on the field is a touchdown. The ruling on the field is a touchdown by Frankfurt.
So, und jetzt aber hier in der Mitte, weil Frank hat zu seiner Geburtstagsfeier noch ein paar Freunde eingeladen.
Yeah. You ready? Hey! Let's go. Bet. Yo, once again I'm back around. Real shit back in style. Haters reconcile. I'm so black and proud. First class tickets now. Feet all in the eye. Everybody looking down. Everybody get red when you drown, huh? Looking me up. I'm putting it down. You picking it up. Checking the models. They want us to go to college just so we can be stuck. Go to school to make a living. Or teach yourself to make a fortune. Common sense. Welcome to the apocalypse. Bitch, I'm one of the horsemen. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning. Cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
Ich glaube, ich muss mal nachhaken. Ich glaube, macht 2 Müssen. Wir brauchen ihn wieder. Und zwar ist es so, dass ein Ball ausfehlt. Und es wäre gefährlich von euch, wenn wir den Ball auch wieder ausgeben würden oder jetzt gelingt der irgendwo auf dem Torplatz. Aber das kann schauen. Dann ist die Frage, wäre jemand oder Frankie gegen den Ball. Sehr gut. Vielleicht ist noch jemand dabei, der Lust hat, mit Frankie nach Hause zu gehen, den Ball zu tun. Ja, einfach alle. Frankie nimmt alle mit raus. Und bitte kommt mit Frankie auch alle zu tun. Wir machen einfach mal und die suchen den Ball als wir bringen. Das ist eine Abweis und vielen Dank. Ich hoffe, du hast die anderen Teams auch wieder mit reingebracht. Nicht, dass die alle jetzt noch suchen und einer hat sie gefunden. Dann gehen wir mal hier rüber zu den Raiders und geben den Ball ganz ordentlich wieder zu.
We're ready to start the third quarter in this matchup between the all-in-black Raiders Tirol against the white and purple Frankfurt Galaxy. And I've been discussing with our color commentator Lorenz Regler the stats of the first half, and this is unbelievable. The newly elevated, one has to say, because he was with the Raiders Tirol organization before, Kenyatta Allen, the new quarterback of the Raiders, but he played in the AFL team, so in the Austrian league, and now he had been elevated to play as a replacement for Stephen Krajewski, and this is unbelievable. 20 of 20 passes complete, not a single pass incomplete, and over 300 yards of passing, 303 to be exact, and they're having the ball starting the second half, the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, we're witnessing a historic performance, Opu. 20 of 20 so far, not thrown one incompletion. That is super impressive, and yeah, I said it numerous times. It really seems like he's on the same page as offensive coordinator Max Kösler. Schuhen Vater, the head coach, found the right words to get this team set, and let's see, because now the Raiders are in a new situation. They have to play it from top down. You know, you're leading by 19 points, so let's see how they will handle that situation now for the first time this year.
First drive of the Raiders Tirol, which is a run play, and again a lot of yards. They had an average of 9 yards per carry in the first half. Yes, you're listening correctly. 9 yards per carry in the first half for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, and they start off hot. This time Tim Tonko gets the ball, and Toby Naylor is actually there to make a tackle for no gain, but Tonko is just stronger, wants it more than him, evades that tackle, breaks that tackle, and runs for no first down.
At their own 46-yard line, the Raiders Tirol, Kenyatta Allen with a pass, and naturally complete with Marcus Schaba, the tight end that started the season with the Paris Musketeers and now came back home think it's third week he is back home with the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, Schaber, he won a dramatic game in Frankfurt already in week 1 when he was still with Paris. Now he's
On the field,
playing
injured player, number 56
in
for
Frankfurt again, and it's his first target of the day. And since Allen has not thrown a completion yet, it's his first catch as well.
And as we heard from the Whitehead Stanley Hamida, injured player for the Galaxy on the field, it's Sebastian Silva Gomez, if I heard the number correctly. And Sebastian Silva Gomez is somehow the player that stands for this defense, this Galaxy defense that is known actually to be a great defense that is carrying the team. And he is a little bit shaken up. And the audience, the people in the stands, they are feeling exactly the same as we do, Lorenz. They don't really understand what they're seeing here. This is unbelievable how strong and with how much self-confidence the Raiders Tirol are playing so far in this game against the Frankfurt Galaxy. It's a 3-score lead that they're having. At the Galaxy 34-yard line. No, at the Galaxy 26-yard line. It's always, if I don't have my reading glasses on, it's always complicated. Run play, and again, not a stop for minus yardage. They always manage to push the Galaxy defense backwards a couple yards.
Yeah. Tough inside running here by the Raiders Tirol, and you mentioned it. I just want to echo it, Opu. I don't think the Raiders Tirol had a play behind the line of scrimmage yet, or behind the chains. You know, we talk about being behind the chains if your first down goes backwards, but so far they haven't had that. They always kept methodically moving the ball, and that helps your whole offense.
Another run play, and that was close for being minus yardage, but still the ball carrier, which was Tim Tonko, managed to get back to the line of scrimmage, at least.
Yeah, good penetration here by the defense. Multiple guys in on the stop. Gang tackling, as we call it, for one of the first or few times so far, because the tackling has been one of the part of the games of the Frankfurt Galaxy that has been really poor so far this afternoon.
Kenyatta Allen, empty backfield, going over the middle. Again, a completion. And he finds Adrian Platzgummer.
Yeah, second catch for the veteran receiver Adrian Platzgummer over the middle. Perfect timing here once again. Runs a little spot route to the inside. The goal is to sit right between the defenders, and he does that perfectly. Gets hit right away, but holds on to the ball for a new first down.
The Raiders Tirol at the 19-yard line. Pass up the middle again, complete by Aaron Jackson. Although the Galaxy defenders say that was incomplete.
Exactly. Henrique showed or was claiming that the ball hit the ground, but the referee underneath the goalpost came in and said that was a completed catch, and it looks to me like Aaron Jackson had both hands on the ball.
So they're knocking at the door again. A very impressive drive by the Raiders Tirol. At the 2-yard line. But this time the Galaxy defense locks the door.
Yeah, Haselwanter trying to punch it in here through the middle after his first touchdown. Got called back because his knee was down. Trying to get on the scoreboard himself now, but this time good defense by the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Second goal, 2nd and 1 yard to go for the Raiders Tirol to even extend their lead. Kenyatta Allen directly under center. Quarterback sneak. Well, I don't want to call that one.
I think he was short this time. Last time we saw the clear forward progress. It got overturned. But this time it kind of seems like he lost his footing and the referee's showing it. Yeah, it's 3rd down.
So it's 3rd and goal for the Raiders Tirol. To extend their lead, I have to point it out again, to extend their lead here at the Purple Hell. And that's a touchdown by number 26 by Tim Tonko.
Yes, and that was clear. He crossed the line here. And interesting formation here, because that's what you can do if you have 3 running backs that are that good. You can put Tim Tonko at fullback, Haselwanta at running back, and then just punch it through the middle. Good blocking here by the offensive line.
And Lorenz, I have to tell you, I'm doing this commentating job for over 25 years. And there has a lot of things to come down the line, so I'm speechless. But I'm very close of being speechless, because with this extra point, the Raiders Tirol are leading 47-21 against the Frankfurt Galaxy. And again, you see the team's records under their team names. The Raiders are coming into this matchup with a goose egg. Not a single match they were able to win. 0-7, their record. And it looks more and more like they are going to have their first victory of the season. But there is still a lot of minutes of football to be played here at the PSD Bank Arena. And somehow the Frankfurt Galaxy has to react.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect start to the second half for the Raiders Tirol. You take 5.5 minutes off the clock, you score your 7th touchdown on your 7th possession. I'm as impressed as you are, Opal.
And still, Kenyatta Allen, the quarterback of the Raiders Tirol, is still waiting for his first incomplete pass.
Kicking team number 16. The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line. First down, Frankfurt.
Unbelievable. And I have to say, I saw Kenyatta Allen play in the GFL last season. I saw him, I witnessed him playing for the Leipzig Kings back in the time. I've never seen Kenyatta Allen so good as he is presenting himself today. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. He's very composed. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and it translates to his teammates.
Ethan Garbers with the next deep pass to the outside finds Brevin Easton for a nice gain.
Yeah, that was a great connection between Brevin Easton and Ethan Garbers. They will hurry up here again and line up, but we will look at the stats of Ethan Garbers in a second as well, because he had a good first half as well.
Almost a quarterback sack against Ethan Garbers. Now he's running himself. Has a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, great body control here by Ethan Garbers. Not touching the ground with his knee or elbow. Getting up, evading the sack. But I said it. He had 11 of 15 for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns as well in the first half. So that's not a bad game by Ethan Garbers. It's just his defense does not help him at all.
8 minutes to play in the third quarter. Run play by the Galaxy. Again, Anthony Marvin Buembe, the running back, the ball carrier for the Galaxy. Adria Botella Moreno, big, huge tight end of the Galaxy, that had to take such a hard hit close before the halftime. Ethan Garbers trying to find Tyler Foster, who says, hello, referees, where's the flag?
Yeah, let's see what they call here.
Defense number 42, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It was a holding call against the defense, number 42, and that results in an automatic first down. And we see here the stats of Adria Botella Moreno. He had 97 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Not a bad day in the office.
Not a bad day in the office. Had that big hit, scoring his second touchdown, but I'm glad he's back, and he will be a key factor for the Frankfurt Galaxy if they want to come back in that game.
Ethan Garbers trying to go deep, trying to find Brevin Easton, but that's incomplete.
Yeah, he's complaining to the ref. There was some contact between him and his opponent, but I don't think that that was enough for a pass interference.
Holding, offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So the left tackle, Luka Jokil, with the holding. Yeah, and here we see it. That was more like asking his opponent for a little wall stance. And we have to state it out, although this score doesn't really show it. The problem of the Frankfurt Galaxy was not their offensive performance in the first half. Their problem was they didn't play with the defense.
Yeah, their
Norman
offense
Schum
was
in motion, wide open Norman Schum actually, but Ethan Garbers finds Brevin Easton.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, Oppo. Norman Schum was wide open on the left side of the field. He did find Brevin Easton here for a good gain as well. But I mean, if the opposing quarterback plays perfect, what Kenyati Allen does, you have to play perfect as well. And the Frankfurt Galaxy, they missed a field goal. They had to punt at least once. So that reflects in the score.
Again, Ethan Garbers finds number 87, Adria Botella Moreno.
Yes, but we do have a flag right at the line of scrimmage. So let's see what the refs saw this time.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 77 was covered on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So an illegal formation.
That
correction
takes away this nice completion to Adria Botella Moreno.
Yeah, and that's one of those mistakes that you label as a stupid mistake, an unnecessary mistake on offense. If your tight end's on the field and you cover him, then there's too many players on the line, and that neglects that first down.
Ethan Garbers being sacked by the Raiders Tirol defense. And Lorenz, to be honest, I mean, we're both are not offensive line experts, but if there are 3 of 4 defensive linemen getting through and chasing your quarterback, then there is a schematic problem.
Yeah, this time it was Dobson Hobson, one of my favorite players in this league, who came through in a heartbeat, put the pressure on Ethan Garbers. He tried to avoid him, but then got sacked. And now it's 3rd and forever on a must-scoring drive.
And there is the next quarterback sack against Ethan Garbers. The story remains the same. The Galaxy is not really challenging the Raiders Tirol. They cannot show what they're made of. It simply does not work out what they have planned. Nice defensive play here. Should be Jay Jackson, who changed his number from 49 to 37, I believe.
Yeah, and that's how fast it can go. If you, it almost looked like the Frankfurt Galaxy are in sure field goal territory. You get a penalty, you get another penalty against you, first a holding, then an illegal formation, and then your quarterback gets sacked twice. All of a sudden you have to punt the ball. And yeah, Raiders Tirol life is pretty easy right now.
And this is why we've just seen at the Raiders Tirol sideline for the first time in this season a laughing and cheering Shuan Fatah on the sideline. And the Raiders are having the ball again, leading 47-21. Kenyati Allen, audibles, changes the play. Run play, nice gain, next first down and more. Again, Lucas Hasselwanta, the carrier.
Here we see it again, Kenyati Allen. Great composure here, changing the play. He saw something he didn't like. Not getting stressed by the play clock that was almost at 0, and then just, changing the play and perfectly executed by that offensive line and running back Lucas Hasselwanta.
Kenyati Allen, next pass to the outside. Not to mention that this was complete. You always hear football coaches talking. They want to have a balanced performance, offense, defense, special teams. And this is exactly what the Raiders Tirol are showing. They're showing strong defensive work against the Galaxy. They're showing an exceptional good work on offense with, I have to say, a new quarterback, Kenyati Allen.
Yeah. And now it's relatively easy for them, because now you want to obviously keep the clock going. So you try to take a lot of time off the clock in between the plays to snap the ball when the play clock is below 5 seconds, as well as just hit those quick passes, hit those runs, and maybe now when they expected the least, hit the Frankfurt Galaxy defense with another deep pass to Aaron Jackson, who had an outstanding first half as well, over 140 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And there we have a quarterback sack by the Galaxy. And the best thing for the Raiders Tirol is they are not really bound to have a score each time they have the ball. So it's not a disaster if this drive stops here. And that is like opening up the playbook even more. You can use even more different plays.
Yeah, one of the few times the protection didn't hold. Chris Mulumba came through and sacked here Kenyatta Allen. So we will see the first punt of the day for the Raiders Tirol.
And that's a good punt. Return. Ball is taken by Paul Leonard. On the other side, it's a totally different story for the Frankfurt Galaxy because they cannot afford to waste another drive. They have to score each time they have possession of the ball.
Yes, I
so
agree,
this
especially
makes
because
it a
that
totally different ball game now.
It does, and especially looking at the clock, that third quarter went by really fast. We only have 1:38 left, so the Frankfurt Galaxy really needs to hurry up now to stay in that game.
Garbers with the pass to Brevin Easton, but only a gain of about 4 yards. Good defense being played by the Raiders.
A good defense here by Grosse, who almost punches the ball out. Let's see if we see that in the replay again. He has it here, tries to make a move, and then that ball is somewhat loose, but Brevin Easton can hold on to it.
Oh yeah,
that would have been a disaster.
Second and 6. Deep pass by Brevin Easton. No. Yes. But out of bounds.
Yeah, and to me it seems like Ethan Garbers is now looking almost only to Brevin Easton here. Try to find him here down the sideline. He made a good catch, Brevin Easton, but it didn't seem like he could get both feet in bounds.
Here we
see if we can see it
again.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, we did not see the whole time his feet, but it was definitely impossible to get both feet in bounds. Ooh. Holy guacamole, a hard hit against Norman Schum here, but good job by the wideout to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, Norman Schum, one of the German prospects that is really good receiver, but that was his first target today. And like I said, now the Frankfurt Galaxy are hurrying it up, hitting Adria Botello Moreno down the right sideline on a similar play call that he scored his first touchdown on.
And the third quarter is almost in the books. 5 seconds on the clock. Ethan Garbers with one more play over the middle, but Adria Botella Moreno cannot hold on to the ball. This is the third quarter is in the books, and the Raiders Tirol are still impressing us. Unbelievable, 47-21. Let's see, yeah, 47-21, the lead of the Raiders Tirol, and the fourth quarter is coming up. Fourth quarter, Ethan Garbers is starting it with a pass to the end zone, and he finds Paul Leonard. Touchdown Frankfurt Galaxy. Is that the start of a comeback story? I still have my doubts, Lorenz.
We will see. That's the best start you can have into the fourth quarter. Great play here by Ethan Garbers, keeping the play alive, rolling out to your left. It's not an easy throw, and Paul Leonard gets both feet in bounds, cuts the lead short.
The previous play is under review.
If it holds, Opu.
If it holds, I mean, Paul Leonard had both feet in bounds. He definitely controlled the ball. The only thing is I did not really notice where Ethan Garbers threw the ball, whether he has crossed the line of scrimmage already.
I think they will look at Paul Leonard, because I looked at it again in the replay. If his left foot is down when he catches the ball, because that next step actually lands on the sideline. Let's see if we see it in the replay here. But the question will be whether he dragged his left foot while catching that ball.
Okay, it's a little blurry, but we see the feet. There the ball is caught. One foot. And the second foot, I think, is touching the ground.
I do agree. I think that should be a short review.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown by Frankfurt Galaxy.
So, touchdown Frankfurt Galaxy, and the perfect start into the final quarter here at the PSD Bank Arena. Ryan Rimler is lining up to make it a 28-47. Kick is up, kick is good. The new score in the purple hell is 47, Raiders Tirol, 28, Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yeah, and now you really need your defense to step up. You just had your first stop of the day. You just had the first sack against the Raiders Tirol. Now you need to keep ramping it up, because otherwise the Frankfurt Galaxy will not have a chance to win this game. On the other hand, you start to think a little more now with the Raiders Tirol, because they felt really comfortable with that large lead. But obviously, if one or two plays go against you now, you might start doubting yourself again. So I think we're in for an interesting fourth quarter.
And the clock is ticking down in favor of the Raiders Tirol from now on. We got 14 minutes, 51 seconds in the fourth quarter to play.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock is in favor of the Raiders Tirol. And if they keep playing that composed offense that methodically moved the ball down the field in the first three quarters, I don't see a chance for the Frankfurt Galaxy to come back here. The Frankfurt Galaxy defense needs a turnover now, sooner rather than later.
The kids are having fun. Their parents are probably shocked in the stands. Next pass from Kenyatta Allen to Aaron Jackson, and he easily manages to get a new first down.
Yeah, Aaron Jackson had a quiet third quarter, but wasn't needed. Now he's back with a catch here in the second half. Nice starter to the drive here.
Trips to the right side of the offense. Aaron Jackson, the lonely single wide out to the left of the offense. Kenyatta Allen is changing the play. Short pass to the outside. Marco Schneider lets one guy missing, but then the rest of the defense is there helping them. But still, the next completion for Kenyatta Allen.
The next completion for Kenyatta Allen, and especially a completion that he wanted. He saw something before the play. He changed the play call. Marco Schneider with a nice little out route and the ball in a perfect spot once again.
Second and 3 for the Raiders Tirol. Run play. New first down and more. And more. And he's still on his feet. Touchdown Raiders Tirol. Am I really seeing what we are seeing here on the screens? Unbelievable.
Another huge run by Tobias Bonatti. They were somewhat expecting it because they were blitzing. But look at that downfield blocking here by Aaron Jackson against Rodion Hendrick. I think he is a little bit lucky that he does not get called for a block in the back here. But nevertheless, great blocking down the field. And Tobias Bonatti is faster than anyone down the left sideline. And if your offense keeps playing like that, it's impossible for the Frankfurt Galaxy to come back.
Well, you can't come back if your defense does not stop the opposing offense. And they do not only not stop them, they almost invite them to the next scores.
Yeah, it almost seems like it.
54-28, the lead for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, and I'm as impressed as everybody who's watching that game. But, you know, I were at a couple of Raiders Tirol games, and we did a couple interviews with those guys, and we talked about what needs to change for you guys to turn it around, and they just kept saying the same thing. And sometimes it sounds like they just like saying that off the record, you know, like something like, yeah, we just need to keep working hard, we need to believe in ourselves. But to me, it seems like they finally were able to put it on the field today, you know, that hard work that they have put in throughout the year, and it shows. And maybe Kenyatta Allen was that little magic piece that was missing for that offense and whole team to click.
Well, problems in picking up the return here for Paul Leonard, and a huge hit delivered by Trey Rucker, the free safety of the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, Trey Rucker came to Frankfurt with a personal mission. I think that's his 4th wrecking ball tackle here today. So he definitely sets the tone for this defense.
Ethan Garbers with the pass, a completion to Brevin Easton.
Yeah. Another play where Brevin Easton is the go-to guy for Ethan Garbers. Little shaken up here. Told us backup to go in for a play for him. And the Galaxy is trying to play the no huddle now again because they have to. Nevertheless, here once again it does not work out. It results in a sack.
Well, it will not really help him, but Ethan Garber still no interception on the season. Nice completion here, finding Paul Leonard.
Yeah, finding Paul Leonard here over the middle. And now you somewhat have to believe that the Frankfurt Galaxy winning the game, being down 26 in the fourth quarter is hard, but you can still win the tiebreaker against the Raiders Tirol if you lose by less than 16.
And I jinxed it. I jinxed it. There is the first interception of the season of Ethan Garbers. Everything plays out in favor of the Raiders Tirol here today.
What happened here? I think
the ball
he just
slipped
lost
out
the
of
ball.
his hands. Ethan Garbers on the rollout. Here we see it, and then the ball simply slips out of his hands as if we're playing in rainy weather, but it is not. It's dry in Frankfurt today. Not a single drop falling from the sky.
The second after you said it, Opu, I think that is the perfect example of the commentator jinx.
Blame it on me. Ethan Garbers, blame it on me. But the Raiders Tirol are back in business again. They have the ball. And again, their running back is making massive yards. Anthony Buemba with the rush right for the next first down.
Yeah, another great aggressive run by Tim Tonko, and that interception definitely does not help the Frankfurt Galaxy with the claim that I just made. You won the first game against the Raiders Tirol by 16 points, so if you lose, you actually want to lose by less than 16 because it might come down to a tiebreaker between 4 teams for the last 2 spots of the playoffs. Opu.
And one should not forget the Raiders Tirol are playing the Prague Lions and the Paris Musketeers in the remainder of the season. After upcoming week is a league-wide bye week.
Exactly. So
they're battling exactly their opponents for that 4th spot in the Big Four tournament, but we have a flag on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 99. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jan Jesus Lara Perez, the Cuban defensive tackle there with the face mask.
Yeah, that must have been away from the play because Louis Achantre, number 22, was the one making the tackle.
A little more than 10 minutes to play here in the PSD Bank Arena. Next pass, next completion from Kenyatta Allen, and he finds Felix Kantner, who he knows pretty well because a couple weeks ago they both still played for the Austrian League team of the Raiders Tirol. Felix Kantner was brought up to the EFA team as well as the new quarterback of the Raiders Tirol, Kenyatta Allen. First and goal at the 3-yard line of the Frankfurt Galaxy. Kenyatta Allen with the handoff. A gain of about 1.5, maybe 2 yards.
Oh, and that ball came loose. Mason Chambers is complaining that they blew
the whistle
play dead before.
But it looks like the officials saw that the forward movement was stopped before the ball came out. So second and goal at the 1-yard line for the Raiders Tirol to even extend their lead. And this is the next touchdown for the guys in silver and black The Raiders Tirol have 60 points on the board, something which nobody thought would be possible in this game.
Nobody thought would be possible, Opel, and happens for the first time in EFA history, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Munich Ravens scored 58 in week 1, but 60 points from an 0-7 team in an away game, I'm speechless.
This is American football, EFA style. You never know how the match is going to end up. And if we're witnessing one thing today, it's a competitive balance statement by the EFA. As you said, an 0-7 team is guessed at a 3-4 team, and you see the score down below. Jonathan Loria with the extra point to make it 61-28 in favor of the Raiders Tirol.
Wow.
And now the Galaxy needs a miracle, definitely a miracle. Even not talking about winning this game, I think this is almost impossible, but to close up to the Raiders Tirol to get this head-to-head comparison into their favor.
Exactly. They need 17 points, or let's say 18 points to cut down the score to just a 15-point deficit, which would give them the tiebreaker over the Raiders Tirol. But I don't see that happen at all right now.
Kick off by the Raiders Tirol. That goes out of the end zone, touchback. For the first time in, we have to say, European Football Alliance history, the Raiders Tirol will most definitely win their first game.
Win their first game, and win their first game with a statement. They're heading into the league-wide bye week now, and that's definitely something you can build on. So I think we're slated for 2 very, very exciting last weeks of EFA football in the regular season.
And I guess the Raiders Tirol, they don't want that bye week coming up. They would love to keep playing right away.
Yeah, probably. But I know there's a couple guys missing on that Raiders Tirol lineup, especially on defense. For example, their captain Tim Unger is not with them today. But maybe he can get back, and then he can... those are the kind of players that can make the difference in those games coming up against Paris. That definitely is, not playing their best football right now either. So I really think those last 2 spots are still up for grabs.
So the Galaxy again on offense. Ethan Garbers with the next pass. And there is the next interception. A lot of pressure on Garberth. I think his throwing arm got touched, and that's why this ball did not come out the way it was planned. But this is really... it's already a nightmare for the Frankfurt Galaxy, but what is happening right now is... if the beep hits the fan, as you say.
Yeah, and it's all smiles here on the Raiders Tirol sideline. Number 15, Krivak here with probably his easiest interception of his career. To be honest, Oppo, I would not even be surprised anymore if the Raiders Tirol put up another score.
Well, there are almost 8 minutes on the clock, and so far the Galaxy defense was not capable of stopping them. Really, only once they had to punt the ball. So that was a loss. 2 yards. But all they have to do, the Raiders Tirol, is not turn the ball over and eat as much time off the clock as you can. And the Frankfurt Galaxy, the first Galaxy fans are leaving the stadium, something that I think even you, Lorenz, have never witnessed in Galaxy history.
No, I agree, and that's a sad thing to see. I mean, it's a Saturday afternoon, so there's probably a few things that you could do outside of watching a football game that is pretty much over 7 minutes before the game. Nevertheless, I think what we're witnessing is really one of the, if not the most impressive offensive performance by any team this year so far, especially, and we might have said that a couple times now, but I just want to reiterate that, by a quarterback that just got called up into this team.
Next pass by Kenyatta Allen, and good news for the Galaxy defense. This time, number 25, Tobias Bonatti, is not making it right away to the Galaxy end zone.
And good news for all the fans out there still enjoying that stat line of Kenyatta Allen. He is still perfect. So let's see if he can finish this game actually perfect with no incompletion.
Kenyatta Allen is still waiting for the call coming in from the outside. Quarterbacks in the EFA don't have the radio connection to the offensive coordinator in their helmet, so most of the times the plays are signaled in, or you switch personnel and one of the players coming in brings the next play in from the offensive coordinator. Well, each and every Raiders Tirol fan that followed the team to Frankfurt to see this game, it was worth the money to go to Frankfurt, definitely. What an unbelievable, surprising result we are seeing here on the scoreboard. First and 10, 5 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock to play. Naturally, the Raiders are trying to run the ball. Again, Tobias Bonatti.
Yeah, this time over the left side. And you just said it, Opu. The Raiders probably would love to go back to work right again next week. I think the Frankfurt Galaxy, they really need this bye week next week to restructure and find their rhythm again after this tough loss last week in Munich, and now an even tougher loss at home against the Raiders Tirol.
Exactly, Lorenz. I mean, the loss against the Munich Ravens was something that you could have expected. It was only a little surprising how big the difference between the two teams was last week. But this game, we said it starting, was a must-win game for the Frankfurt Galaxy to send out a statement to their opponents that we want to have this Big Four place for the Frankfurt Galaxy. And what they're showing today is that, well, I'd rather go on summer vacation. The Big Four is not something that I necessarily need.
Oh, it happened.
You jinxed it. There was the first incomplete pass of Kenyatta Allen. Yeah, for everybody who just tuned in. It was, you heard it correctly. It was the first incomplete pass by Tirol's number 5, the new quarterback, Kenyatta Allen.
Yeah. on 3rd and 4. I think there was a little miscommunication with his outside receiver there, because he was expecting him to run a little out route that we've seen multiple times by Aaron Jackson already. He ran a hitch instead, so they were not on the same page. Nevertheless, I think that's one of the best performances of a quarterback we have seen so far this year. And coming back to what you just said, Opu, about the Frankfurt Galaxy, yes, they headed to the bye week. Yes, they can restructure, but we also know who's waiting for them after the bye week, and that is Nordic Storm. So that's not a game where it will be easy
really
to get back into rhythm.
That's not an opponent that you want to face if your team wants to build up, because the Nordic Storm is definitely, well, they only see one challenger, the Nordic Storm, and that is the Munich Ravens.
Exactly. And now we have it.
In week 13, the Galaxy has the next must-win game against the Prague Lions.
Yep, exactly. And that might be actually a game that is directly affecting the playoff spots. And yeah, we said it now a couple times. I think the Frankfurt Galaxy officially threw their towel in now. Konrad Schumann is in at quarterback. So even those 18 points they need to win the tiebreaker seem very unrealistic now.
So number 17, Konrad Schumann, quarterback for the Galaxy now. Completion to the outside, finding Tyler Foster. Third and 3. Whoa, and again, a lot of pressure on the quarterback of the Frankfurt Galaxy, whether it's Konrad Schumann or before it was Ethan Garbers. The protection in pass play was not really good today.
Yeah, I think he had a man open over the middle here. The play took a little too long to develop, and then by the time he tried to release the ball, he got hit, and there was no chance for the ball to get to his receiver.
Yeah, the Galaxy fans are not amused. And there's the block punt. It's
gets
getting worse and worse for the Galaxy.
Timeout on the field for eligible player number 30 from Frankfurt. Also, there is no foul for roughing the kicker, the player who actually hit the...
It was close before, and this time they came through here on the left side. And then a great block here on the special teams play. Textbook diving, even though he hits the punter in his leg afterwards. That is very unfortunate. I hope Bastian Roppel, the punter, is okay.
But as you're saying, it's unfortunate it's not a foul because he blocked the ball.
Exactly.
So we're taking a look at all the people here, and if you take all of them, not a single person would have guessed this outcome of the game. Well, maybe the Raiders fans, but they definitely did not expect the Raiders to score 61 points in Frankfurt.
Exactly, 61 points. That is just talking about that is 9 touchdowns. Opu. They missed 2 extra points. They scored 9 touchdowns. I don't know if the Frankfurt Galaxy has ever in their history conceded 61 points to an opponent. And the Raiders Tirol doing that, coming in here with what you think little to no confidence because you lost every game so far. But they just stepped on that soil and said, okay, we're going to make a statement today. And that's what they did.
Well, the Galaxy is definitely the beaten team. The team of head coach Thomas Kösling. And Lorenz, I have to say, it's a totally different opponent, but the Galaxy is showing exactly what they showed last week in Munich. Oh, we have an interception, and that might be a pick six. No. Rodion Henrique with the pick, but he does not make it all the way. Is stopped from a Raiders player.
Yeah, it was Kantner chasing him. Very important for our stat guys. It was not Kenyatta Allen throwing that pass. The backup quarterback came in, tried to complete a hitch to the right side, and Rodion Henrique is mad at himself for not being fast enough in the fourth quarter to house this interception.
And nobody would have believed if you would have told him, well, about 2.5 minutes before the game is over, the Raiders Tirol will play with their backup quarterback because they have such a comfortable lead. Next completion to Brevin Easton.
Yeah, and I think the Frankfurt Galaxy will decide now to let the 2-minute warning stop the clock here.
This is 2-minute warning.
So 2 more minutes to play here in the PSD Bank Arena, and to be honest, it's really hard after this result to still call it the Purple Hell. The fans are still making it the Purple Hell, but the team did not really today. I really have to say a really poor defensive performance by the Frankfurt Galaxy. Offense actually in the first half didn't look that bad. But if you don't manage to stop the opposing offense a single time, only once in the third quarter, I think once the Raiders Tirol had to punt the ball. This was pure domination by the Raiders Tirol in this game.
Exactly. And to add to that, even maybe more importantly, the Frankfurt Galaxy could not find any answer throughout the game. And I think that's what is concerning. We saw that last week in Munich as well, but today, even worse, conceding 61 points, their coaches could not find any scheme that would stop that offense. And then sometimes if you don't put your players in the position to make plays, it's tough, because you said it before, Opu, there were a couple of places where no one was even close to making that tackle, where guys were just like completely open, left alone by that defense, and that's definitely also a schematic problem.
And last week they played an unbeaten team. This week they played a winless team, which is kind of a difference in American football. Nice pass by Konrad Schumann, finding Norman Schum in the end zone.
Well, it was exactly the same play design Adria Botella Moreno scored his second touchdown in the first half with. They tried to hit him again. This time he was covered, but Norman Schum got free behind after that. First the fake to the guy in motion, then to the running back, and now he found Norman Schum, who had good footwork to keep both feet in bounds.
as we see here again, dribbles his way out of the back of the end zone, had clearly both feet in bounds. But, and this is another thing that nobody would have expected, it does not really help the Frankfurt Galaxy. They're going for a 2-point try now to make it a 36-61. Trips to the right. Adria Botella Moreno directly at the line of scrimmage. But incomplete, didn't work out. He tried to find Gerald Ameln. Incomplete, so the score is 61-23. And 23-34. 61-34 in favor of the Raiders Tirol. With all these high numbers that we didn't expect, I'm simply losing track of counting here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the first game that those two had, it was a 21-5, you know, and I think I speak for the both of us, Opel, when I say that we did not expect 95 points in this matchup today.
Not at all. Not at all. Angelo Gross is kneeling it off. 1 minute 53 seconds on the clock. All the Raiders Tirol have to do is step across the finish line. And this shouldn't be too hard with a 61-34 lead. Ball comes out, fumble, and it's a Galaxy ball. So a minute 46, the Galaxy is getting the ball back.
And I was thinking if I should say that because the Frankfurt Galaxy has all 3 timeouts, so you cannot actually kneel it as the Raiders Tirol, but still that tiebreaker is still in place, Opel, because 21-5, so that means if the Frankfurt Galaxy scores 12 more points, they will win the tiebreaker against the Raiders Tirol. And that's the best thing they could have done now by getting that ball back here with 1:46 left.
And talking about this only means the tiebreaker rule comes into place if both teams have the same record at the end of the season. Nice try to find Tyler Foster here, but wasn't able to make the catch.
Yeah, not a good ball here by Konrad Schumann. Tyler Foster had his man beat and then had to slow down to wait for the ball, still trying to stay in bounds. Not an easy catch. But again, if you decided to bench your quarterback, whether you benched him because of his performance or because you say, okay, today was just not the day, now is not the time to bring him back either. So I'm pretty sure they will finish the game with Konrad Schumann at quarterback.
Timeout taken by number 17 by Konrad Schumann, the backup of Ethan Garbers. That is not injured as far as we noticed. But Ethan Garbers today had to take his first 2 interceptions of the season. Well, the only people in the stadium that are probably still in a good mood are the Frankfurt Galaxy cheerleaders. Konrad Schumann rolling out, passing to the outside, finding Brevin Easton, who is still on the field.
Good play here by Konrad Schumann, keeping his eyes down the field while scrambling. And then Brevin Easton does exactly the right thing, goes out of bounds because they somewhat wasted a timeout just here before the play. And this stops the clock with 1:25 left.
Exactly 85 seconds to play here at the PSD Bank Arena. Pass from Konrad Schumann, and there we have a touchdown by Gerald Ameln.
Okay.
We're above the 100-point mark.
Exactly, 101 points, and now I think... yeah, I'm just thinking if it makes sense to go for 2 now, because if you go for 2 and you have a chance to score a field goal, it would cut the lead for the Raiders to 61-45. Nevertheless, that would be the exact same difference that we had in the first game. So yeah, they decide to go for the PAT now.
Kick is up and it is good. New score 61-35.
Should be 41. I think the scoreboard did not reset yet because it was 61-34.
Exactly.
And now that means the Frankfurt Galaxy does need a touchdown to win the tiebreaker against the Raiders Tirol. And let's see, maybe we'll see an onside kick now, Opu, if they have that in mind, if they know that they want to do it. And yeah, it looked like the Frankfurt Galaxy is actually
but still, this all means that the Raiders Tirol have to win their last 2 games against the Prague Lions and the Paris Musketeers to even manage to get into this comparison, the direct comparison, the head-to-head comparison with the Frankfurt Galaxy. So the onside kick attempt did not work out. Aaron Jackson was in there for the hands team of the Raiders Tirol, plus the ball did not travel for 10 yards, if I saw correctly.
Illegal formation, kicking team. 5-point penalty will be added to the end of the round. First down, Raiders.
Both teams still have 2 timeouts. I mean, Raiders Tirol will do everything except taking the timeout because the clock is ticking for them. Run play up the middle, no gain.
No gain, and now let's see if they decide to take one of their timeouts. The Frankfurt Galaxy does not look like it. But we can see Tim Tonko is back in the mix since running back number 4 lost the fumble earlier. So they are aware now that they want to win this tiebreaker as well, the Raiders Tirol.
Oh, there we see a little uncomfortable weather coming up in Frankfurt. That was the victory formation for the Raiders. And I guess with this kind of weather coming up, everybody wants to get into the locker rooms. And that's obviously it, unbelievably. But the Raiders Tirol win 61-41 in Frankfurt against the Frankfurt Galaxy. Unbelievable. Shuan Fatah has the first victory of the season for the Raiders Tirol. Was not a really polite handshake with the two head coaches there. I'm saying thank you very much to Lorenz Regler, our color commentator. It was again a pleasure to call this game with you, although it was an absolute unbelievable surprise that we noticed. Famous last words from you.
Unbelievable game. It was so much fun. Thanks for tuning in to everyone at home. Thank you, Opu. And I'm excited for what's ahead after the bye week. Those games are going to be really exciting.
Bye-bye.
After review, the ring on the field is a touchdown. The ruling on the field is a touchdown by Frankfurt.
Yeah. You ready? Hey. Let's go. Bet. Yo, once again I'm back around. Real shit back in style. Haters reconcile. I'm so black and proud. First class tickets now. Feet all in the eye. Everybody looking down. Everybody get red when you drown, huh? Look at me up. I'm putting it down. You picking it up. Checking the models. They want us to go to college just so we can be stuck. Go to school to make a living. Or teach yourself to make a fortune. Common sense. Welcome to the apocalypse.
Oh, wait.
Siehst du,